Welcome everybody to This Week in Developer Relations.
Is that
Is
what
that
we're
our new
calling
title?
it? No, I don't think that's what we were calling it.
No, we're not calling it. No.
Uh,
This is our weekly
Weekly.
report
DevRel
of developer
Weekly.
relations
Yeah.
from Hologram. Yes.
And Benster is at
DevRel
home
Weekly.
because of the snow. He got stuck at home.
I am not from Buffalo, so I cannot handle this.
No, that's not why.
Like my co-host.
I am from Buffalo. I would, neither rain, no snow, no sleet, whatever. I'm gonna get there and do some electronics. So, yeah, I'm here, and I'm actually back. It's just facing the other direction in our office. So that's what's going on this week. So,
Yeah.
Benster, what's been going on with you?
Yeah, so even though we're remote, well, first off, like even though we're remote today, last week we didn't do it because we were remote, and we figured this week that excuse couldn't hold up for 2 weeks in a
Right.
row.
That's right. Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. So last week, Chris was out of the country, out in Europe,
Yep.
and why don't you say a little bit about that, Chris? And where were you?
Sure. So I was at the Things conference, which is part of the Things network, and that was out in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands, and it was great. It was it's an interesting community. It's like it's about 30,000 people that are doing this over the worldwide, but it's using LoRa technology, and then it's a network stack on top of that. So these are people that are using it for low power sensor networks, which also can tie into cellular. So that's why I was out there. I wanted to see who was using cellular as well, what else they might be doing with it, and seeing how cellular fits into the whole ecosystem. After that, I went to FOSDEM, which is a open source software developer conference. So hung out with people that were working on Python and KiCad and GNU Radio, which is a big open source project. So it was a lot of fun out there.
That's awesome. Super jealous, super excited. Cool things are going to come from that, I think. So
I think so too.
Next year, I definitely want to go out because you made it sound so awesome. So yeah. Things Network, big thumbs up from the Hologram team.
Yeah.
Love it. Speaking of that, I totally forgot. This is off topic. This wasn't part of the thing I wanted to talk about, but I just got a bunch of equipment, cellular and LoRa equipment from Rack Systems.
Right.
So super excited to dive into that.
Right,
Yeah.
and so out there was the Resin IO team was doing a workshop with the rack, some of the rack equipment. So I got to meet them; they were great, and then also got to meet Jose from PyCom. So we've talked about PyCom on this show before, and PyCom also makes a LoRa board, which we also have in house and we'll be playing with as well in the future. They've got like the Phi-Pi, which I think you mentioned, didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, so they have the GPi and the Phi-Pi. So we have both of those in-house, and we're going to get those things rocking and rolling. So super excited for that.
Yeah, me too.
And so while you were out there, I was out in Arizona. Well, actually, a little bit before you were out there, I was in Arizona and did IoT Dev Fest, did a workshop out there. Super excited about that. This was a first year that IoT Dev Fest actually happened out in Arizona, and super impressed by the organizers and what they put together. So we'll definitely be attending next year, hopefully in a bigger capacity as well. Really neat, really had a fun time out in Arizona, really great community. So super excited to invest more in there and see what to do. Well, we did an AT command workshop. So this is a workshop that we did out in Pasadena as well for SuperCon, and decided to do that out there in Phoenix. It's one of my favorite workshops, and it uses a Trinket M0, which runs CircuitPython, and then we send AT commands through serial to a little breakout, cellular breakout. And so this is kind of exposing everyone to CircuitPython and also sending AT commands. And so I love the workshop. It went really well, had great feedback. And so we'll probably be back next year doing that, as well as a few other workshops.
I'm actually really surprised about the AT command
that
stuff too, because obviously that's a lot of what we use for cellular modems. There's different command sets for the SIMCOM modules like you do in that workshop, also what we use for our uBlocks modules. But then even I was playing with some LoRa modules too, and that uses AT commands. The ESP 8266 also uses AT commands. So, that's just kind of it's just a good skill to have overall, to be able to send over serial, to be able to work with these strings of kind of magic phrases that are getting you set up onto a network, and but it is kind of ubiquitous then.
Yeah. But working with that is one thing. The other thing is like all the nuances of every single module is completely different.
Right.
So.
Exactly. Right, and that's where libraries come in, and that's a
pain.
lot of the value that you've put into the like you have a SimCom library, and also the libraries we have for the Dash, the Nova, stuff like that.
Yeah, but speaking of the skills and like having it be like a good set of knowledge to have. I went ahead and publicized that workshop that I've done now for a couple times. Because from the feedback of everyone who's taken it, like they want to go ahead and refer people to it. So it's up on Hackster right now. We'll go ahead and share a link in the show notes of where it's at. And yeah, you'll get exposed to CircuitPython and AT commands through cellular. So it's a solid thing. And that wrapped up my last week. This week, had some fun times playing around with this thing right here. If those of you who don't know what this is the AIY voice kit. So like Google's DIY, play on DIY, but it's AIY, as in AIY. I don't get it either. But the cool thing was I put a workshop together for this as well and ran this locally for my team. And we ended up putting the Nova into it and getting it working over cellular. So all you need to do is apply power and we'll work over cellular.
Yeah, no, it was really great. When you press that button, it pretty much turns into like an Alexa or a Hey Google or anything like that. It's a similar kind of thing. So it was a cool idea.
Yeah. I personally think that Google has done the best job. Kind of like, and I really think it's like, hats off to their AI engineers and providing like all that service through the cloud. I think it's a richer feedback. Just like Google's voice assistant will understand you, where like Alexa will have no idea, and same with Siri. So yeah, I love this thing. And now it's wrapped up in a kit. So super stoked. Yeah, if people are interested about this, maybe doing the workshop with us and cellular, let me know if there's interest. We have friends over at Google, and we could probably work something out if there is some interest around there. So yeah, good stuff. I'll be putting a tutorial up for that as well. So.
Great. Yeah, and that's interesting because it kind of puts the voice capabilities kind of from anywhere, right? A lot of it, people are used to it from being right in the home, being tied to Wi-Fi. Now that the Nova's on there, makes it more mobile. You could, in theory, do it out in the field if you really wanted to.
Well, so the cool thing is you can attach it to a robot now.
Oh,
so the neat thing is like you have the GPIOs exposed to you here, plus like they have a motor controller on here, so you can, for all intents and purposes, kind of like hook this up to a robot and control a robot through voice and ask it questions, and it can ask you questions. And I don't know.
That's great.
I'm thinking.
Yeah.
The gerbils are running. That doesn't happen very often.
Nice. Speaking of gerbils running, I've been doing some secretive hardware stuff around here, so that's been my week, getting that stuff together. I hopefully will be able to talk about it soon. But the usual layouts and ordering parts and forgetting to order parts and all that stuff, and we'll have some more hardware tutorials and some discussions about what it takes to build your own cellular hardware in the coming weeks as well.
Yeah, super excited about that. Can't wait to kind of like talk about that some more.
Yeah.
What you're doing is phenomenal. Man, I can't talk about it.
Well,
I can't hold back.
I'll teach you about hardware, and you can teach me about software, and then we'll, hopefully everybody else learn from that too. So that's the idea.
Yeah. So good things about custom hardware and AT commands. You got the Beagle phone working.
That's right. Yeah. So over the
what do you call it?
I don't know. I called it the Beagle Phone Pocket or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, the Pocket Beagle Phone. It doesn't matter. It's not a phone like we talked about before the show. It's not really a phone, but it's basically that hat for the Pocket Beagle, and yeah, it turned out great. I mean, so finally got all the connectivity working over serial, and so now working on just building up my Python skills. So that was actually using MicroPython, the same thing you do for the workshop. I was doing that on a Trinket, and now it should be pretty easy to just port that into Python on the Pocket Beagle and then run it directly, just writing out to the dev TDY on the Pocket Beagle. But I'm still kind of learning all the ins and outs of the full-blown Linux now. So more learning on my behalf. Yeah.
More learning.
Yeah.
Oh, it never stops. Man,
right.
It's so annoying.
Yeah, no, it's great. That's what we're here for. So that's good.
Yeah, totally.
And what about you, Ben? Is there anything else going on this week?
Well, yeah. So, like, speaking about learning, all learners need teachers, and some exciting news: Hologram and our developer relations team is growing. So, we're looking for a new teacher, specifically in the software arena. So, if you have experience in hardware, that's great. But if your main knowledge comes from the software side, specifically Python and JavaScript,
if you could teach me
some web
Python
technologies,
and that high-level stuff, then you're doing fine, and you should come and teach me this stuff.
Dude.
Ben already knows it. He's been teaching me.
Dude.
We're trying to find me a tutor.
Python and the high-level stuff.
Yeah.
Love the comment.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So if you want to work with us two and a few other cool people, then definitely we'll have a link down below where you can contact us and let us know that you're interested. Yeah. So that is pretty much it. That's the week. That is 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's a 2-week wrap up right there.
We're trying to do weekly, but
Double up.
we did
Yeah.
mention that it might not happen, so we'll try again.
We'll try again. Well, now, so this is our first remote one, so we have this under our belt. So now we have no excuse. So now, if we're in Africa and Alaska,
Given the connectivity we have, the Wi-Fi connections we seem to have sometimes, it feels like Africa, but we'll do as best we can.
Yeah, totally. All right, brother. Well, I'll see you in the office next week, and I'll see all of you
We'll see you
following week, right?
next week. Yeah, the next weekly. Thanks for
Awesome.
watching.